One rule applies to every single person who sets foot on Antarctica. Doesn't matter if you're a tourist, a research assistant, or the ship's captain. Don't go to the bathroom on land. Not once, not anywhere. Not even a few steps from an actual toilet inside a research station. Sounds almost comic until you follow that rule to where it actually leads. Down through the same kind of frozen wells that supply drinking water, to a lake at the bottom of the world that was never supposed to exist. Start with the version most people run into first. Antarctic cruises now carry more passengers than at any point in the industry's history. Over 100,000 visitors this past season, up from something like 8,000 in the mid-1990s. The rule those visitors get, straight from the tour operator's own guidelines, is blunt. Once you're ashore, no eating, no bathroom breaks, even standing right next to a research station. Anyone who needs to go, waits. Back on the ship, or not at all. That's the version for a few hours on shore. People who spend entire seasons on the ice live by something stranger, and it comes with actual flags. Researchers heading to remote field camps get shown one particular spot before almost anything else. A marked, GPS-logged patch of snow, sometimes a good distance from the tents, where and only where they're allowed to go. Camp staff log the coordinates. At night, most people skip the walk and use a bottle instead, kept next to the sleeping bag, because getting dressed and walking into a whiteout at 2 in the morning carries its own risk. Women often carry a separate funnel-shaped device for the same reason. Nobody puts this in the brochure. Here's the detail that's easy to miss. None of this is about smell or manners. Almost everywhere else, waste breaks down. Rain gets to it, bacteria get to it. On the ice, none of that happens. Whatever lands in the snow stays exactly where it landed, sometimes for years, sometimes much longer. Scale that up to an actual station, and the problem needs a real engineering answer. McMurdo, the largest base on the continent, houses up to 1,200 people every summer. For decades, the fix was simple. Grind the waste up and pump it into McMurdo Sound. That changed in 2003, when a $6 million treatment plant went online. Aerobic digestion, ultraviolet disinfection, the whole process before anything reaches the water. New Zealand's Scott Base, a short walk away, runs a smaller plant of its own. Not elegant, but it's a system, which is what makes the South Pole itself so strange by comparison. The station at the South Pole has never had a wastewater treatment plant. Instead, its sewage goes into something called a rod well, a bulb-shaped cavity melted hundreds of feet down into the ice using circulated hot water. Here's the part worth sitting with. That's the exact same method the station uses to make its drinking water. Each one starts out as a water source, pumped for years until it sits too deep to draw from efficiently. Then it gets retired and repurposed. As the place, everything the station flushes goes instead. No treatment, no filtering, just raw sewage pumped down into a hole that used to supply drinking water, where it's meant to stay permanently. The newest cavity is expected to hold 10 or 15 years' worth before it's full, at which point the station melts a fresh one and starts over. So that instruction a first-time visitor hears on the way off the ship was never really about one small moment. It's the surface version of something the whole continent runs on. Nothing here actually leaves. Under ice that's held on to every drop for longer than any of us have been alive, there's a lake nobody planned on making. It's still filling. It'll still be filling long after this station is gone.